checking if it is, huh?
Still loading. I tell you, this morning mine was giving me fits. Wasn't anything I could make it go faster.
The Russians fogging it now.
Something was bogging it down. Then I went into this one where we have to sign off on people's licenses, and it was ODE system. And it was down. I was just like, come on, people. Are we ready? We're still loading. There's the sheet back there for you. Thank you.
Well, we may just have to do it old school. You've got the other one going, right? Yeah.
Ready? Okay. I would like to call the April 12th meeting of the Zoning Commission to order. Please call the roll.
Mr. Zero.
Here.
Mr. Galinsky.
Here.
Mr. Pat.
Here.
Mr. Creedy.
Here.
Ms. Simon.
Here. Our first item of business is to approve the minutes from our last meeting, which was on January 11th, 2017. I believe people have received those. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Again, any additions or corrections? If not, call the roll, please.
Okay, Mr. Creedy.
Yes.
Mr. Pat.
Yes.
Mr. Galinsky.
Yes.
Ms. Simon.
Yes.
Mr. Zero.
Yes.
Motion carries. We have no old business that's being brought forward, and we have 3 items of new business, none of which are really zoning changes, but are simply some text amendment changes to the zoning document. I'm going to let Daryl walk us through those one by one. The first one is a text amendment change regarding Article 22 for ponds.
Right. Sylvania Township Zoning Department staff is asking for recommendation of approval on a proposed amendment to Article 22 Supplemental Regulations, Section 2217 Ponds of the Sylvania Township Zoning Resolution. This proposed amendment would reduce the required minimum lot acreage for a private residential pond from 5 acres to 3 acres. Additionally, it would establish a minimum rear setback of 50 feet for private residential ponds. The Lucas County Engineer's Office has reviewed this proposed text amendment and has no objection to the proposed changes. However, they do recommend that the Township also clarify Section E regarding pond depth. Their proposed modification is indicated in Section E in Exhibit B. The Zoning Department has received several requests in recent months to allow a pond on a private residential property measuring less than the required 5 acres in size. A few of these requests have come in the form of a property owner having a pond on a lot which meets or exceeds the required 5 acres, but which the property owner wishes to accomplish a lot split that would result in the remaining parcel with the pond having less than 5 acres. The Board of Zoning Appeals has also received 2 separate variance requests within the past 6 months for a pond on a parcel with less than 3 acres. One was denied, the other approved. In preparing this request, staff has researched other townships in the Toledo area, as well as consulted with staff from the Lucas County Plan Commission, Lucas County Health Department, and Lucas County Engineer's Office. Lucas County Plan Commission unanimously recommended approval of this requested text amendment on March 22, 2017.
So we do put in some size restrictions on the pond, right?
There already was a side.
Yeah.
Jump back to that.
Okay.
Already was a side setback of 25 feet. We did not have a rear setback.
But they have the maximum pond surface can't be more than 25% of the acreage.
Right.
When Monclova has it, I was curious if they do the 3 or the 5 depending on zoning. How do
Right.
they, I mean, just what kind of zoning differentiations do they make for the 3 or the 5, do we know?
I don't have it in front of me. It was, I think one was more the agriculture and large lot, and then the other one was for the
Residential.
suburban residential lot.
Are there any other questions about this or comments, discussion?
You sent an email from Doug Parrish, right? And that really didn't pertain. He was just saying they could go steep or slope in the center of the pond. He didn't necessarily want us to change the verbiage, right? He just, because 3 to 1, and he said you could go as steep as 2 to 1.
Well,
Did you see the email today he sent out? From Parrish?
I thought you-
subsection E, the bolded red is his recommendation on that one. He felt that it was kind
Oh,
of
okay, yeah, you could go steeper.
right. The way it was worded really wasn't
Sure. So you
that
added
clear.
his-
He felt that section needs to be clarified, or should be clarified.
And these ponds don't interfere with other people's systems, water systems or anything? People's wells? All that
Yeah,
stuff?
well, if they're on septic, Lucas County Health Department would have to, or if
I think there's
any
a
lot
lot
possessing them.
like this.
For
when you start-
ponds?
Yeah,
You'll see from
for
septic.
Health department.
Yeah.
100 foot from a septic.
Okay. Any other questions, discussion?
I think it makes sense. I was actually shocked at Richfield because they always were 5 and theirs was 3. So I'm glad Daryl did his homework. But one problem they ran into throughout the years talking with those trustees was people come out from this area or Toledo and had to buy 5 acres and then didn't know how to maintain it. So you had one neighbor that had a nice big mower and would keep everything maintained or dig a pond and everything was spotless. Then the next neighbor, 3 of his acres grew up to weeds. And I think Bob Matamora was probably the same way. So their larger lots were actually a hindrance on them. So if you could do 3 and use a half acre or an acre pond, it actually is better useful space than growing up
Growing
to
weeds.
weeds. Yeah. Because that's the problem you run into, and then you get complaints from certain neighbors. One guy wants to hunt his and one doesn't, and vice versa. So I think it's a good change.
Well, hearing any other comments? Do we have a motion then?
So moved.
We have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Okay, Mr. Walensky.
Yeah.
Mr. Zabel.
Yes.
Ms. Simline.
Yes,
Mr. Pat.
Yes.
Ms. Reed.
Yes.
motion carries. Okay, the next one is a text amendment change regarding Article 22, recreational vehicle and utility equipment.
Sylvania Township Zoning Department staff is asking for recommendation of approval on a proposed amendment to Article 22 Supplemental Regulations, Section 2219 Recreational Vehicle, Utility Equipment of the Sylvania Township Zoning Resolution. The reason for this request is to clarify the regulation so as to avoid any future issues regarding RV dealers or utility equipment retailers' use of their commercial lots. Lucas County Plan Commission unanimously recommended approval of this requested text amendment on March 22nd, 2017. This one kind of came about by accident in addressing a zoning complaint on Alexis Road, a residential property that had a boat beyond the front line of the property. Our compliance officer and myself kind of came up with the realization that This section, as it stands now, could actually, if somebody wanted to push it, could be applied to, say, All-American Coach on Alexis Road, or anybody that, like a boat dealership or something like that. Well, obviously, we're not going to confine them to only 2 trailers per property, and that they have to be behind the front line of the building. So just for any future issues, just to clear this up, that the section A, B, and C would not apply to commercial enterprises.
And that's the change from what we currently have then.
Right.
This is talking about RVs and utility equipment. You mentioned a boat. Is that anything to do with a boat?
Yeah, that falls in with the RV. It's a recreational vehicle.
Are there any questions, discussion? Seems pretty straightforward. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional comments? Hearing none, call the roll.
Mr. Creedy?
Yes.
Mr. Sable?
Yes.
Ms. Zimmerman?
Yes.
Mr. Pat?
Yes.
Mr. Galais?
Yes.
Motion carries. And our last one is the text amendment change regarding Article 31, political signs.
Oh, man, I think they should be bigger.
My
What do you
own
do,
personal
creepy?
favorite.
And how big can you make creepy?
Let's see. The Township Zoning Department staff is asking for recommendation of approval on a proposed amendment to Article 31, Signs and Advertisement, Section 3107I, Political Sign, of the Sylvania Township Zoning Resolution. Legal counsel has advised the Zoning Department that the regulation in the subsection regarding political signs, which states, shall be removed 7 days following election or referendum, may be considered a violation of the property owner's First Amendment rights respecting free speech and is not enforceable by the township. Lucas County Plan Commission unanimously recommended approval of this requested text amendment on March 22nd, 2017.
Very straightforward.
Right, it's just,
Yeah, an
If
issue
it's
like
not
this
a-
in the city, right?
if it's not enforceable, we really don't want to keep it in the zoning resolution.
Even though it might not be a bad recommendation.
It's a great recommendation,
Because they can be
but
pretty tacky. That's the problem I
Yeah.
see. I
Yeah.
mean, but if we can't enforce it, what's the point?
Right.
How about, it says they're not supposed to be in the right of way, but as someone who does a lot of mowing and stuff around, there's always signs in the right of way. Are they supposed to go pick those back up?
You're talking just political signs?
Yeah.
I mean, they shouldn't be in the right of way at all, so,
So we could just tell you guys and you can come remove them when they're there.
yeah.
I'm saying after the election, there's certain trustee
throw-
candidates that left their signs for a long time after the election.
Or throw
we
them
did
in.
have an incident one time
Didn't-
when they went out, sent all the crews from the township out and removed somebody's signs throughout the township because they were in the right of way. I mean, that's happened too. So,
And that would be enforceable because they're not supposed to
Yeah.
be in the right of way.
but when
we
you
do
selectively
periodically
enforce it
remove-
against one candidate
Sure. You have to be fair
by
to
the
everybody.
township crews,
You must not like them.
In the past, the street department used to bring them in, and we'd have stacks of them in there.
yeah, and you could come pick them up
Pick
and
'em out of
redeploy them.
Yeah.
I know those days.
No, like I say, if we can't enforce it,
Yeah.
it makes sense to get it out of there. But I think it can become pretty tacky in certain neighborhoods or
Yep.
areas when those signs are there for.
Actually, there aren't
2
as
to
many
3
signs
months.
anymore as you used to. The problem is that everybody's putting up the big ones, and they're more trouble to put up and down. The little ones that are in yards actually disappear unless they start sticking on
I think
random
Mother
spots.
Nature takes care of those
Yeah,
eventually.
yeah, but it's the big ones that take more work to take down.
The one in Iowa Hills has been there for about 10 years on the bankrupt.
Oh,
I know
They
certain
can't get that one down for nothing.
I mean,
Oh, boy.
I noticed in this election.
there's one out on Angola that's almost as much fun as the Iowa Hills one.
In this political election, people leave their signs up because I want you to know whose side I'm on, and they leave them there. Does this mean they can stay up indefinitely?
Yes.
That's what I
Yep.
like to know.
Once our land use plan is updated, it's the hope of the zoning department and at least one of our trustees that we will then enlist the help of somebody to do an overhaul of our zoning resolution and also kind of pretty it up, for lack of a better word. I continually adding to a list of things that I want to amend on our zoning resolution. I mean, some of these are a little more immediate, but some are just, they can wait until that time. But our entire sign regulation needs to be overhauled, and I think what we would look at, political signs. There's a Supreme Court case about a year or two ago, Reed versus Gilbert, which really came down hard on local communities as far as the sign regulations. And basically, we have to be content neutral. You can't, you can regulate size, distance from the road, quantity of signs, but as far as like picking out the content of the sign, and in
I
this
think
case,
the city just got sued.
right.
They
In this
over a
case,
sign
separating
thing?
political signs from other signs. So I think what we would do is we would have a regulation for residential yard signs, and that would encompass the political signs, the Northview graduate sign, the garage sale sign, all that. They would all fall into one set of regulations. There'd be a size limit and maybe a quantity limit or whatever we come up with. And in that case, then I think we could put a time limit on it, maybe 30 days or something like that. But
We don't have any regs now for yard signs?
not just kind of generic yard signs.
I don't
Right
think you can
now,
put a
the
time
political
limit on it.
sign is held out as a separate entity, and according to our legal counsel, I mean, we can still leave it that way as far as the 16 square feet and not within the right of way, that kind of stuff. But the time limit thing, we can't. And
You can't put a limit on how far ahead they posted. You can put a limit, I think, on when you have to get them down.
No, not even that, because that's what this is.
Okay.
Why we're removing that, because it's a First Amendment thing. So I don't know if we would ever actually be able to put a time limit on just yard signs in general, because
Freedom of speech.
right? Even
No, you
somebody putting, I don't know,
The sign is an advertisement.
what's that?
Sign is an advertisement, and if you leave it up, if you leave a political sign up to make a statement, and the election's over with, and you can't change the outcome, is there a possibility of saying you want the sign up, you need a permit? Because there's no point in having the sign there. Like you said, how many years has the thing been up?
It's been there since I can remember.
Oh, they've had issues with that on
Oh,
Hillside.
yes,
There's no question.
Oh, yeah.
They can't get it done.
Apparently, Otto Hill's lost, apparently.
They did.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to go to court with something like that. Commercial signs are a different animal. Now,
Yeah.
those you can have more extensive
You can just be the
regulations
neighbor
on.
that goes
But the
pulls
ones
it
that
out at
pertain
night,
to
Keep throwing it away.
free speech, I mean, somebody could put a sign up pretty much saying anything in their yard.
Leave Christmas lights up all year long, too.
Right.
I mean,
Get neighborhood regulations.
yeah, neighborhood regs. Because all you can do there is write them a letter. So,
And even there, I think it would only be like maybe size of the sign and maybe quantity of signs, things like that.
That interfering with the neighborhood regulations. I was told about that a long time ago. Don't even have a copy of the deed restrictions in the office, because then you could be required to enforce their deed restrictions.
Yeah, we don't
I
have.
had someone try to pull that.
it's up to the association. Okay, any other commentary on political signs? I will move approval of this one. Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. No additional discussion. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Sable.
Yes.
Mr. Belinsky.
Yes.
Ms. Lyon.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Mr. Creedy.
Yes.
Motion carries. Is there anything else that we need to know about anything? The
No.
one other thing was pulled, right? And it
The-
may come back some, the
The
percent of.
percentum, Yeah, as a phone conversation I had last week, they were going to resubmit for an R3 PUD as opposed to the R5 PUD. But we haven't had anything come into our office yet, so.
That'll change the size of the buildings too, or?
Well, yeah, the
they-
density will go way down from R3 to
Well, I don't know if it'll change the size of the buildings or just be less buildings. I don't know until I see.
Why don't we just take a layer off and spread them out a little bit?
That's
Technically.
probably what they're going to do. You go from R5 to R3.
Yeah, their R5 was going to be 112 units, I think, and now they're talking 64 or 66 units or something like that. So I don't know if it's going to be less buildings or one story instead of two story, or what their configuration is going to be until I see a site plan.
Either that or they're taking time to schmooze the people back in Carytown a little bit.
Well, how much more smoozing do you want to do than going from 112 to 64?
Yeah.
I'd take it and run, you know what I mean? Compared to what was there, or what was proposed.
You'd almost have to ask yourself how that would be cost effective to do that, to split what you thought you were going to do in half.
Because then you go to the guy selling it, and you say, well, guess what? We weren't allowed to do that, so now you lower your price.
Well, that's all.
That doesn't happen, does it,
Well,
Joe?
the ladies at Notre Dame got what they wanted finally.
Yeah.
You got a career going up.
Yes, they
Just
do.
got to keep working the system.
And
Some
you
of
have to
them-
have
some
people
of them
quit
fall.
the commission or the council or whatever. Okay, anything else for the good of the order? Land use plan, I know, is moving forward, so that's all going on. I will entertain then a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
So moved.
Motion and a second? Motion second?
You motion on, sorry.
She was looking for a motion.
No. No, I'm seconding.
I think we've got it. Call the roll?
Okay, Mr. Sable,
Yes.
Ms. Emmeline,
Yes.
Mr. Creedy,
Yes.
Mr. Belinsky,
Yes.
Mr. Cox.
Yep.
Meeting adjourned.
So we will have a meeting next
Thank you.
month, or we won't?
Next month, not the percent, assurance health. Yeah, yes, we will.
Okay.
Who did you say it was? Next month?
Assurance health, it'll be, they're on